Hello everyone, welcome back to Remind, knowledge sharing channel self-development through good books. This week, I want to share with you an incredibly valuable book.
Hey, it's Remind. Today I want to hand you something that looks almost childishly simple on the surface. 6 colored hats, yet has quietly revolutionized the way millions of people think, decide, meet, create, and live. The book is called 6 Thinking Hats, written by Dr. Edward de Bono, physician, psychologist, philosopher, and arguably the greatest pioneer of creative thinking the world has ever seen. Before we dive in, let me ask you to do something. Pause for 5 seconds and remember the last big decision that still keeps you up at night. Choosing between the safe job and the risky startup. Deciding whether to leave the relationship or stay and fight for it. Choosing between climbing the corporate ladder or being there for your kid's childhood. Saying yes to the promotion that meant moving your family across the country. Whichever path you took, there's a tiny voice that still whispers, "What if the other road was the right one?" That whisper is universal. It has haunted every human being since the day we first developed the ability to imagine alternate realities. We think we're being rational when we make the call, but years later we look back and realize we missed huge pieces of the picture. We were blinded by fear, seduced by excitement, or paralyzed by overanalysis. The problem is not that we're stupid. The problem is that we're trying to juggle 6 completely different types of thinking at the same moment, inside one tiny skull. Facts, emotions, risks, possibilities, creativity, process. We throw them all into the same mental blender and hit puree. The result? Mental chaos, regret, meetings that last 4 hours and decide nothing, marriages that end because we just couldn't talk anymore. Dr. de Bono spent 50 years watching this tragedy play out in individuals, families, and Fortune 500 boardrooms. Then he did something so elegant it feels like magic. He gave each type of thinking its own colored hat, and he taught the world one revolutionary rule. You never wear more than one hat at a time. When everyone in the room or everyone inside your own head is wearing the same hat at the same moment, something miraculous happens. Confusion turns into clarity, argument turns into progress, and decisions stop producing regret. This simple system has been used by IBM, Siemens, Microsoft, British Airways, JP Morgan, ABB, Shell, and NASA. It turned the bankrupt Los Angeles Olympics of 1984 into the $250 million profit machine. It solved a Norwegian oil platform disaster that was costing $100,000 a day in 12 minutes. It cut international project meetings at ABB from 30 days to 2. And the best part? A 10-year-old can learn it in 10 minutes. So let's walk through the 6 hats together, slowly, deeply, and with stories that will make you feel them in your gut. Part 1, the 6 hats, your new superpowers. Imagine 6 different characters sitting around a table inside your mind, each wearing a brightly colored hat. Each has a completely different personality, and each is brilliant at one thing and terrible at everything else. 1, the white hat, the data scientist. Pure facts, neutral, objective, no opinions, no feelings, no spin. White like a blank sheet of paper or a computer screen showing raw numbers. Questions it asks. What information do we actually have? What information is missing? How can we get the missing pieces? When you put on the white hat, you sound like a calm, curious reporter. 2. The red hat, the heart-on-fire emotions, intuition, gut feelings, and you're allowed to express them without justification. Red like fire, passion, anger, love, fear. Questions. How do I feel about this right now? What is my intuition screaming at me? Under the red hat, I have a terrible feeling about this deal is a perfectly valid contribution. No one is allowed to demand proof. 3. The black hat, the cautious judge. Critical thinking at its sharpest. Risk assessment, devil's advocate. Black like the robe of a judge or the caution sign. Questions. What could go wrong? Why might this fail? Where are the weaknesses? The black hat is why companies survive and bridges don't fall down. 4. The yellow hat, the optimist with sunshine in his pocket benefits. Value, possibility, hope. Yellow like the sun. Questions. What's good about this? What opportunities could open up? Even if it's risky, what could we gain? The yellow hat is the reason human beings ever left the cave. 5. The green hat, the wild creative new ideas, alternatives, provocation. What if? Green like spring growth, new shoots, fertile soil. Questions. What else could we try? How could we look at this completely differently? Let's deliberately break the rules for a moment. What happens? The green hat is where Post-it notes, Uber, and the iPhone were born. 6. The blue hat, the orchestra conductor process, overview, control. Blue like the sky that holds everything beneath it. Questions. What are we trying to achieve? Which hat do we need right now? Where have we been, and where are we going next? The blue hat is the hat that keeps the other 5 from killing each other. These are not personality types. They are not labels for people. Every single human being on Earth already owns all 6 hats. The magic happens when we learn to switch them deliberately instead of letting them wrestle for the wheel. Part 2. Why we fail without the hats. The chaos most of us live in. Picture a meeting you've been in, or parallel thinking explanation, a family dinner that turned into World War III. Someone starts with raw emotion, red. Someone else jumps in with facts, white. A third person immediately shoots it down, black. A fourth gets defensive and starts arguing from ego. Someone else throws in a wild idea, green, that gets ignored because we're too busy fighting. Within 90 seconds, the room is on fire and nothing gets decided. Now zoom inside your own head the last time you had to make a hard call. You're excited about the possibilities, yellow. Then terrified of the risks, black. Then angry at yourself for being scared, red. Then you try to list facts, but your brain is too emotional to remember them, white fails. You end up frozen, or you make a snap decision you later regret. That chaos is not your fault. Your brain was never designed to juggle 6 incompatible modes at once. The default human operating system is argument-based thinking. We form an opinion fast, then spend the rest of the meeting defending it. That's why most meetings feel like verbal cage fights. The 6 hats replace argument with parallel thinking. Everyone looks in the same direction at the same time instead of, I'm right and you're wrong. We get, okay, everyone put on the black hat for 3 minutes. Go. Suddenly, the energy in the room flips from combat to collaboration. Part 3. How the hats actually work together. The deep mechanics. 3.1. The dance partners, White and red, facts and feelings. Never let raw emotion judge facts, and never let cold facts silence legitimate feelings. Always do white first, get the data, then red. Now how do we feel? If you reverse the order, feelings contaminate the data, and you end up with conspiracy theories instead of clarity. Yellow and black, sunshine and storm clouds. Both are essential. Optimism without caution is reckless. Caution without optimism is paralysis. The healthiest sequence: yellow first, discover why this is worth doing. Then black, now let's make sure we survive it. After black, always return to green. Otherwise, you just have a list of problems and depression. Green and blue, creativity and control. Green hat energy is wild, abundant, sometimes crazy. Blue hat energy is cool, structured, focused. Creativity without process produces chaos. Process without creativity produces bureaucracy. Blue keeps green on track. Green keeps blue alive. Blue is the meta hat. Every thinking session should begin and end with blue. It's the sky that holds the weather. 3.2 Practical sequences. Choose your adventure for teams. 3 classic patterns. 1. The classic fixed sequence. Use when you have time and want thoroughness. Blue, white, green, yellow, black, red, blue. Translation. Define the goal. Gather facts, generate ideas. Explore benefits. Stress test risks. Check feelings. Summarize and decide. 2. The quick surgical strike. When you're short on time. Blue, yellow, black, green, red, blue. Perfect for startups or crisis situations. 3. The fully flexible flow. When emotions are already high. Start with red. Let everyone vent safely for 90 seconds. Then white, ground in reality. Then proceed normally. A real-world example I saw at a Silicon Valley company. They used to spend 3 days debating new features. After adopting the hats, their product meetings followed this rhythm. Open, blue, 5 minutes. Today, we design the new checkout flow. Red, 2 minutes. How is everyone feeling about the current disaster? White, 10 minutes. Data on cart abandonment. Green, 15 minutes. Crazy ideas, no judgment. Yellow, 10 minutes. Which ideas create the most value? Black, 10 minutes. Which will break or cost too much? Green again, 10 minutes. Fix the best ideas. Red, 2 minutes. Gut check. Blue, 5 minutes. Decision and owner. They went from 3 days to 68 minutes and shipped better features. For individuals, my personal regret-proof decision sequence. Whenever I face a big life decision now, I literally set a 45-minute timer and go through the hats alone. 1. Blue. What am I really trying to decide? 2. Yellow. If everything works, what do I gain? Paint the best case movie. 3. Black. If this blows up, what do I lose? Worst case, no sugarcoating. 4. Green. What third options am I not seeing? Force 3 alternatives. 5. White. What facts am I still missing? Who do I need to call? 6. Red. After all that, how do I feel in my body? Tight chest or open heart? 7. Blue. Summarize and choose. I have never regretted a decision I made this way. Not once. For difficult conversations, the sequence that saves relationships. When you need to give tough feedback or discuss money, parenting, or sex, white, facts only, green, possibilities, blue, shared goal, red, emotions, black, risks, yellow, benefits. It turns "you never help around the house" into a 15-minute conversation that ends in a hug. Closing. The Quiet Revolution 6. Thinking hats is not another productivity hack. It is a moral tool. It teaches us to treat our own minds and other people's minds with respect. It replaces ego wars with curiosity. It replaces regret with clarity. It replaces "I was right" with "we built something better together." I've watched divorces get canceled because a couple finally put on the red hat and actually said how scared they were. I've watched billion-dollar projects get saved because someone had the courage to say, "Everyone, black hat for 5 minutes. Let's find the flaw before the market does." I've watched shy interns light up the room the moment the facilitator said, "Green hat time. Every idea is gold." This is not theory. This is the closest thing humanity has invented to a universal operating system for clear thinking. So here's my dare to you. The next time you feel the familiar knot in your stomach before a big meeting, a hard conversation, or a life decision, pause. Close your eyes for 10 seconds and imagine putting on a bright blue hat. Ask yourself, which hat do we need right now? Then watch what happens when everyone, including the 6 voices in your own head, finally starts thinking in the same direction. That small act of discipline might just be the difference between another regret and the quiet pride of knowing you showed up as your best self. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for staying with me to the end of this long share. If anything here landed for you, please pass it on to someone who needs clearer thinking today. Hit like, subscribe, ring the bell, and I'll see you next week with another book that can quietly rewrite the way you live. Until then, think bravely, love fiercely, and never forget, the quality of your hats determines the quality of your life. See you.